Pool spa covers. So if there is a pool cover, take a look at it. Is it in good shape or does it need to be replaced? Some covers you simply pull out of the pool and lay onto the deck while you're using the pool. Other covers are on rollers that you retract with a crank or an electric motor. If that's what you've got there, give the crank 1 or 2 turns to see how freely the cover retracts or extends. Do not force anything, of course. Covers are made from several different types of materials, from sheet vinyl to wood. If you're looking at a wood cover, check it out for rot and to make sure it was put together with stainless steel screws or some type of nails that don't rust. Regardless of the type of cover, make sure it is something you can remove. Wood covers look nice, but they can get heavy. What good is a nice warm cover on the spa if you can't get into the spa? Pool spa heaters. Solar pool heaters are plumbed in line before the normal gas or electric heater. The idea is to let the sun do the bulk of the work. After all, it's bigger. Use the other heater for backup. Now there are 2 kinds of solar heating systems. The most common is the open loop system, where the pool water itself is pumped through solar panels. The pool water is heated and returned to the pool. How big is the surface of the pool? Typically the panels need to be anywhere from 50 to 100% of the same square footage. Sorry for the wide range, but the size of the panels depends on what part of the country you're in, which way the panels face, whether or not they're covered by shade part of the day, these sorts of things. The second type of solar heating system is a closed loop system. Here an antifreeze solution is heated in the solar panels. The solution is then pumped through a heat exchanger alongside the pool water. The pool water absorbs the heat from the solution and is pumped back to the pool. The antifreeze solution is cycled back up to the solar panels where it picks up more heat. So what do you look for? Check for leaks, of course. But look at the solar panels too. How are they positioned? We're in the northern hemisphere. If the panels face north, they're nowhere near as effective as they could be. Are the panels on the roof? Check the eaves for signs that the roof is sagging under the weight of the panels and the water. Are the panels dirty? Dirt can cut the effectiveness of a panel in half. You're not going to see this from the outside, of course, but you need to know. Scale from mineral deposits and chemicals can clog the panels also. Something else to check. I know it sounds obvious, but still. Make sure the solar heating system runs during the day, and even then when the sun is most direct. If the system runs at night, it's going to cool the water down, not heat it up. Gas pool heaters. First things first, look at the model and serial plate on the heater. How big is it? If the heater is a 350,000 or 400,000 BTU heater, there might be a problem. If you try to use the furnace, clothes dryer, the same time you're using the pool heater, it might be starved for gas. I'm not saying you will have a problem, but it's something to think about. If you have friends coming over for, say, Thanksgiving dinner and want to use the spa for the heck of it, do you want the gas heater competing with the oven and the turkey? Find out ahead of time and avoid a potentially awkward situation. Where is the heater situated? Maybe the present owner doesn't use the heater and let vegetation get overgrown. Look at the ground around the heater. Is it clear of dead leaves and debris? We're talking about a gas burning appliance here. Before you turn it on, make sure it's safe to do so. The pool heater heats the water as it passes through the heater. There's a burner tray at the bottom of the gas heater. The burner ignites. You have this floor of flame. The heat rises, warming the water as it flows through the heating coils. There are vents on top of the heater for the exhaust. The heater is controlled by a thermostat and some safety switches as well. The heater should not fire up at all if the pump is not turned on. So turn the pump on and let the water run for a few minutes. Why? Well, if the heater has been sitting in the hot sun for any length of time, the thermostat may be fooled into thinking the water is hotter than it really is. Running the cool water through it for a few minutes will cool the heater back down. Sniff the air. Do you smell gas? If so, do not turn the heater on. Make a note of it and move on. Okay, the pump is running, you don't smell gas, and the heater doesn't look like a fire hazard. Turn the heater on and turn up the thermostat. The heater should come on right away, not with a bang, but with a whoosh, and you will feel the hot exhaust coming out of the gas heater top. If the heater does not come on in a few seconds, turn it back off. There's a problem that needs to be addressed. Make a note and move on. After the heater runs for a few minutes, feel the pipe coming out of the heater. It should feel much warmer than the pipe bringing water into the heater. As the heater runs, the components inside get hot. So never turn the heater and pump off at the same time. Instead, turn the heater off and let the pump run for a few more minutes so the residual heat flows out into the pool. The gas pool heater could be fueled by natural gas, but if the property is served with propane, then it makes sense that the pool heater too would be fueled by propane. It doesn't really matter which, as long as you and your serviceman knows. Electric pool heaters. There are heat pump pool heaters as well. A heat pump is typically used to heat or cool the inside of a house. But in a nutshell, you know that part of the air conditioning system that sits outside? You hold your hand next to it and you feel the heat blowing out into the air? Well, in a heat pump pool heater, that heat is the heat that heats the pool water. I don't want to lose you here, but there are air source heat pumps and water source heat pumps. This is a water source heat pump. Bottom line, if the house you're looking at uses one of these systems to heat the pool, then it's probably worth your while to find a reputable contractor in the area and have them look it over. Sure, it should heat the water and it shouldn't leak, but it gets into areas that a heating air conditioning contractor is likely to be more familiar with than a pool contractor. So when you check around, make sure you clearly explain the system you're looking at to get the right inspector. Railings and ladders. Some railings are mounted onto both the deck and the floor or wall of the pool below the water level. Some railings are fixed to just the deck and simply lean against the floor or wall of the pool. Either way, grab the railing or the ladder and make sure it is secured. You don't want to wait until you need it to find out you can't rely on it. Diving boards and slides. Like the ladders and railings, you of course want to make sure the diving board or slide is securely anchored to the deck. But take a good look at the diving board. How does it look? Is there tread still on the diving board? The board is a fiberglass shell around a wood interior. Is the fiberglass shell cracked? Has the board started to delaminate? Safety is a big concern for both diving boards and slides. Is the pool deep enough so that you can safely use the diving board or the slide? The higher the slide, the more spring to the board, the deeper the pool needs to be. Check with the local Department of Building and Safety to see what local codes require.
I've got a lot more great stuff for you at houseiq.information. If you like what you've seen so far, do me a favor and tap the subscribe button so you don't miss future videos. And click the link to watch some more great stuff right now.